Today, we're talking about the pros and cons of a homeowner rehabbing the property themselves and putting it on the market versus, selling it to a fix and flip investor. So, in a lot of cases, sellers do come to me, right? And a lot of the times, they are correct in the idea that if they put $10,000 to $15,000 into the property, they could turn around and list it and get close to what they're looking for. Close. Maybe not at that number, but they can get close. Because most of the time, especially here in Vegas, and maybe our experience is a little different from what the norm is because we get so many. A lot of our properties aren't dilapidated properties. And so if the property needed 70 grand in work, and I heard the seller say, well, I could just put 30,000 into it and
Or
go ahead
20
and get
or
it
less,
done, or
yes.
20, of course, I'm going to step in and say, hey, that makes no sense, actually. The cost of materials alone are going to be way more than that. In some cases, I have no choice but to agree. And I'm thinking of one in particular. I'm not going to say where it is. Well, I can say it's in Henderson. And her property needs nothing but paint on the cabinetry, maybe new countertops, maybe new flooring. But in that neighborhood, she can get away with that flooring. And so 10 to 15,000 would be appropriate for that property. It's
So
extremely
actually, I
clean.
want to stop you because 10 to 15,000 is not enough to do what you just said.
Okay.
To let's say you said what to paint the kitchen cabinet.
Yeah, let's say these things. So countertops, painting kitchen cabinets, putting handles on them, and
But what you're saying right
paint
now
on the walls.
is something that most of the homeowners, they have no idea how to do it, right? They never did any renovation. And if they're gonna decide, oh, now I want to start a new project and to renovate their house to bring the value up so they can sell it in 100K extra, most of them they have no idea how to do it. They're trying to hire the cheapest companies to do it, and the result is the same. So they spend the 15, 20,000, which is in nowadays it's nothing. You can't really do much with 15, 20,000 budget for a house at 2,000 square foot.
Yeah.
It's not, you better do something. So you don't really bring the value up.
I would even say that the bigger problem, actually, when it comes to renovating the home themselves, bigger than the cost, is the decisions they make with the renovation. Because a lot of them do what they like. They're not familiar.
Blue colors,
Exactly,
the kitchen.
exactly. Maybe a red kitchen. We're in Vegas, so I've seen
Yes.
purple and pink kitchens too. You're knocking out 90% of the market by doing the renovation in the way that you like it. The difference with investors is that obviously we're aware of what's universally appealing. And so we capture 90% of the market versus get rid of 90% of the market.
Yeah.
If I'm a homeowner, well, nowadays it'd be different. But let's say if I wasn't in real estate, right? And I want to sell my home and I'm going to put in what I want to do. I know what I like. I like a Japanese style home. So my cabinets are going to be new. They're going to be sleek. They're going to have like that brown bamboo style. It's going to be clean, right? It's going to look really good.
But it's going to be very hard to sell. it.
Exactly,
Yes.
exactly. And I'm going to think, oh, because I put all this work into it, I want 484. But really, all I can get max is 420.
Correct. So a small tip for homeowners, if you want to remodel your kitchen, at least keep the kitchen cabinets in white color. It's neutral color, and it appeals to most of the buyers.
I agree with that.
Yes.
At the very minimum, paint it white.
Paint it white.
Clean and nice, get you the right price.
Countertop, the same thing. Keep it in a white shape, in a white color. Don't go crazy with different countertops.
What
Simple
if
is the
they're
best.
what if they're a handyman?
Handyman doesn't know what sells. Handyman knows how to do the job, but he doesn't know what other buyers are looking for. He doesn't know what most of the people, they're looking something neutral because it can fit to their needs, right? It doesn't, if you're a handyman, doesn't mean you can design the house.
Yep.
It just means you can do the work.
So you're telling me unless they have experience or are currently an investor themselves, it's probably not best for them to do the rehab. That's what I'm
Definitely
getting.
not. Definitely not. And if they want to do it in the best way, they need to hire a professional company that did it at least 20 to 30 times, and then it's going to be very pricey.
Yeah.
And then they need to think, okay, should I just sell it to investor without the headache, without putting 20, 30, 50,000 out of my pocket, and I can done with it within 2 weeks and just sell it as is? That's something that they need to consider.
Yeah. Yeah, that's true. I just thought of another drawback, actually, the time.
And the time as
You
well.
have to do the work. Takes time. Now, if you're experienced, depending on the extent,
If you want to do extensive renovation, it probably involve moving the drain. It probably involve moving electric or plumbing. So you need to have permits. Permits takes time and also very expensive. If you conclude all of those permits, if you want to invest, the time is a big issue here.
yeah,
It might gonna take like 6 months.
yeah. And I think a good thing to bear in mind is full market value requires full renovation. That's a good
Yes.
thing to keep in mind for sellers.
In our market,
Mhm.
specifically in our market.
Full
today.
market value requires full renovation. And so if you got the idea of, putting 20,000 into a property, yeah, you could probably get more than what you were being offered, but it's not going to be market value still.
Yes.
It's probably going to take you 60 to 70 grand on average in this market.
And it's still gonna take you a lot of time on the
Mm-hmm.
market until you're gonna
Yep.
sell the property.
And it's probably still going to sit 3 months because you did the renovation. Not even 3 months. 3 months is almost average. It's going to sit 5 months if you
Yes.
did the renovation.
Yes.
If an
So
Go ahead.
wait, so let's talk about the alternative. There is an alternative. As a homeowner, right? You don't want to get the low ball of the cash offer because you think, oh, my property worth way more. I can put some money and renovate it and it's gonna be worth 100K extra.
Mhm.
From the other side, they cannot list it on the market because they don't have this value. Their property is outdated. The problem that sellers don't want to accept any more cash offers because it's a too low ball for them, but they cannot list their property at the market value because their property needs a lot of work. Either it's outdated or has, they need to fix their AC, the roof, especially in Vegas. So they're like in the middle.
Yeah.
They cannot accept the cash offer. They cannot list it on the market because the property is not qualified to get a good market value.
Yeah.
So what is the solution?
Well, you said it. They're in the middle. And so their experience is they got lowball cash offers, and it's just simply lower than they want to be. On the flip side, they have a pie in the sky number that they're looking at and say, damn it, I could have gotten this number. Where we come in is we can meet you in the middle with our equity protection program. And so with our EPP or equity protection program, what we're doing is effectively combining the benefits of a cash offer with the benefits of the reach of the MLS.
Can you just explain it deeper?
Yeah. So essentially, with our equity protection program, what we do is we'd come in while we're under contract, we're going to rehab the property without ever buying it. Now,
Okay.
I know that sounds absolutely insane, but obviously we're in bed together. We're under contract together is a better phrase. We're under contract together. And what we do, we'd come in, we do a light to medium renovation, depends on what's needed, right? And then we'll turn around and we're going to relist the property after renovation. Now, the key is we're still going to list it below market value. It's no point of trying to list it at market. Sometimes we can, but most of the time we won't because it wouldn't make sense.
Because
the
we
goal
want to
is
sell
to
quick.
sell quick.
Yes.
The goal is to be the most quality house for the lowest price in the neighborhood,
Correct.
especially in a market where buyers have way more options than they've had in over a decade.